Hello class, this is Dr. Kamal. I wanted to make a quick video. I only have 15 minutes for the video duration, so I'm going to try to skim through. I want to provide you with some guidance to eliminate the confusion about performing this project. The course project is separate from the class assignments and your discussions. In a way, it's a standalone project that you will need to um, pay much attention to. My advice to start with, these are six parts for this project. You will need to list them all from part 1 all the way to part 6 like I have here, and you will need to read through so you can connect all the dots before you start working in any part. So you need to have an understanding, collective understanding of the entire project. This is number 1. Number 2, you will need to download all the data so you know what you're talking about. Part 1, it's giving you 3 case studies. You download the Excel files and you will try to answer the questions. You respond to all questions, study all the data, initiate an Excel file. This is a business analytics class. Never ever submit a document, a Word document, without an Excel sheet and analysis. That means you don't know what you're doing basically for the grader. So you have to submit, excuse me, your analysis in the form of an Excel sheet, an original Excel sheet. Remember that the regression model must, because some students keep mentioning X and Y, but you have actual variables in the project, you need to list them by name as they are in the case studies. Be sure you have a correlation matrix. Usually you run the correlation matrix before the regression, and you will need to draw back on all the what you learned before in the business 250 and business 350, because these will be the essence of the work here. You are here in basically in a large duration test or a long duration test for your skills. You need to prove and apply your skills. Basically, you're done learning the tools, and now you need to show us that you are able to understand, apply the tools, and benefit, get the insights as if you were in an actual business and data analytics project. Regression coefficients must be looked at, and the accuracy of the regression model, etc. So we'll take this part 1 and we'll go here quickly to the data. For example, here for case study 8, I think this is it. Obtain the summary statistics of the variables. This is when you need to do descriptive statistics. Comment on distribution data. This is when you need to do a histogram. Obtain correlation. This is when you do correlation matrix. Perform multiple linear regression. This is when you run multiple linear regression. State the regression equation. You need to extract the regression model out and write it with the variables. You will say price, which is a response variable, equals such and such. We'll take a look at it now. Comment on the goodness of test. This is basically the R-square or the adjusted R-square. Explain how we'll use it. You need to use it for prediction, so you will need to apply hypothetical values to use the model for prediction based on those values to make sure the model is working. So here we go back to case study 8, and this is the data for case study 8. Number 1, I need to do descriptive statistics. You will click on data analysis, and you will choose descriptive stats for descriptive analytics. You will put your data here in the range, everything. And you have labels in the first row. You'll request summary statistics. You hit OK. It will bring statistics, all the summary statistic here. Make your chart or table look better. And there you go. This is the mean price is 391K, for example. About 3.3 bedrooms, about 2.3 baths. This is an average value, and about 1900 square foot and all that. This will give you some idea about the descriptive statistics of the data. If you run histogram, you'll do the same thing. It's data analytics, histograms, hit OK. And then you will need to take maybe one by one. This is the price, labels, chart output, hit OK. We'll give you a chart, go back, data analytics or analysis, histogram again, and you keep doing this one by one so you understand the distribution and if there are skewness and so forth. For example, this seems to be skewed this way, and you will need to discuss that in your paper when you write the paper, and so on and so forth. Going back quickly to the other parts, you will need to run regression analysis and correlation matrix. You will come back here, case study 8, and you will highlight all this. Again, go to data analysis, and you will choose correlation and hit OK. And then you need to change your input range, put everything here because we're doing a multiple correlation matrix. Labels in the first row, always remember to highlight that. Here is your correlation matrix, and that tells you that they're all significant, but path is the highest correlated to the price, and so on. So you will need to mention that in your discussion. Run regression table. You will go back here and go to the data and data analysis, and you will run regression. This is how we do it. It doesn't take long, just a matter of seconds. So papers does not take long. Results do not take long. This is your Y is your price because this is the response variable. You will highlight it. And these are your independent variables. You will include them all together. And then you will hit labels. Your confidence is 95%. You can change it into 99 if you wanted. And that's all you need. And you will hit OK. You get your regression analysis. This is how you write the model. You will look into making this look good quickly. Okay, here we go. This is your R squared 8.81. That means these three variables, the beds, the bats and square foot, can explain 81% of the price changes or variation. I'm sorry, this is the R squared, the adjusted R squared, 60%, 66% of the variation, and so on and so forth. So this is, if you want to extract the model, you will say price equals 10,105 plus 17 beds plus 79.9 bats plus 0.02 square feet. Most importantly, you will look at the p-values here. These p-values says that beds and square feet are not statistically, these coefficients are basically equal to 0. And the model, even though they have high values, but the p-value here says that they are not significant or not. And this is how you start to build up your understanding about the variables you're working with. This is basically, and this is part of your discussion. The second part of the graph is your review. You need references, and the references should not be just arbitrary references. You need references that related to the underlying theory in statistical problem solving. You are solving a problem. You want to sell houses. You need to understand how to sell houses, how to set prices. This is the problem. So you need to find articles and books that discuss this issue so you can use them as reference. Don't discuss like, it's not the statistical problem is different than practical problem. We are discussing a statistical analytics problem, not a practical problem. We're not writing a paper about real estate. We are discussing data. You are focused on data. We're not concerned about real estate in general. We are focused on the data we have. So I just want to make sure you understand there's a difference between the statistical problems, which what we're discussing, and the practical problem, which is the real estate issues at large. We're not discussing that. We are focused on data analytics. You need to list your references. You need also to choose statistical analytics tools and its practical application. So you need to understand when to use descriptive statistics, when to use regression, how to use them, what does the output mean. This is what you need to look for, something that explains to you how to apply and use the tool. It becomes your reference, your go-to place to have an understanding as you build up your project, okay? And so on. Third, this is part number 3, is your submit detailed review of literature. You need to understand how to write a review of literature, analytical theory, tools, applications, context, support analysis, housing market, in view of the data that you have, how prices are adjusted, what does bids mean to the house, square footage, acreage, etc. It should be 3 to 4 when you, this is the second part, and you will be combining these parts at the end. Third, I'm rushing to, because the software would not allow me more than 15 minutes. So this is why I'm rushing in speaking to explain. In this part 4, you need to formulate a problem statement. Problem well defined is half solved. So problem statement is just one paragraph. You don't go on and discussing other things that are not related to the problem. Focus on the problem. You will be presenting the analysis, statistical results, and your findings. That's a discussion that we mentioned before. Discuss alternative recommendations. For example, once you finish with case 9 and case 8 and case 10, you will come back and you were supposed to combine everything here, all the variables together, and you will need to run one big correlation and one big regression analysis for everything. Now you have all the variables. If you're going to run regression, for example, you will take everything, and you will need price as again as the response variable, and then you will include everything of case 9 and 8 together as independent variables, and you will run your regression, and you will have a multiple regression that is bigger than everything else. So you can look into which, this is how you come up with the alternative solutions, okay? You will look at the p-value here, and you will notice that this is basically each one of them, with the exception of pass, is statistically equal to 0. So what you will need to do is you will need to take bids out of this, and you will run price and only choose these as independent variables and see what regression looks like. So basically, you will try to take the insignificant coefficients one by one, variables one by one, and we run regression until you find the best adjusted R-square, since we have more than 2 variables. And that's how you go about the alternative solutions. It's, you say, you know, we need to set the price on this, on variables 1, 2, 3, or XYZ instead of this and that, and you explain why, because the adjusted R-square improved as we removed and reran. So basically, this is in a nutshell. I hope this is give you some guidance. I always attach an example of final project for your guidance as well. I hope this helps. If not, definitely ask as many questions as you want by email. I'm happy to get back to you. Thank you so much. Good luck.